fire it, the bullet will move towards you and I'll find the velocity. मैंने भानु यार जरूरी है, फीस दिए तूने, अभी अभी देख ले। कहते सर क्या करें? मैं देख, इसके लिए हम लोग एक लेके आते हैं ब्लास्टिक पेंडुलम। क्या लेके आते हैं? कौन सा पेंडुलम? यहां पर एक पेंडुलम है, दिस इज अ पेंडुलम, और यहां पर लगा हुआ है भैया ब्लॉक। क्या लगा हुआ है? ब्लॉक। और यहां पर गोली जो आएगी, लगेगी इसको, द बुलेट विच इज फायर्ड, तो दैट विल डायरेक्टली हिट इन दिस ब्लॉक। जब वो गोली डायरेक्टली इस ब्लॉक में लगेगी, देन व्हाट हैपेंस बालू मशा? ये दोनों इकट्ठे हो जाएंगे, ब्लॉक प्लस बुलेट, और ये कुछ हाइट गेन कर लेगी एज शी अटेन्स दिस हाइट, शी मीन्स बुलेट। तो एज द बुलेट अटेन्स हाइट, तो ये हाइट हम नोट कर लेंगे। जिस वेलोसिटी से बुलेट को फायर किया गया, कॉकरोच बाद में देखना था, देख, जिस वेलोसिटी से बुलेट को फायर किया गया वो है हाफ एम स्क्वायर, और जो इसकी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी बनी m प्लस m GH, तो U इक्वल टू 2m प्लस m GH डिवाइडेड बाय m अंडर रूट। भानु मेरे को छोड़ दे भैया, हाइट मेजर कर ले, 10 U आ गया। Isn't it interesting? Note it down, come on. What is the meaning of collision? What is the purpose of collision? In physics, we say collision is said to take place when a body changes its momentum and energy. You will put a question, what do you mean by this? A body changes its momentum and energy. Collision does not mean the two body collides actually. No, not at all. For example, you are on the roadside and a car is coming, you are also going in your car, both were in the same direction, on the same line but in the opposite direction, but as this car is coming, this is a collision. What happens? You are coming like this, aapne, what do? You change the direction of your velocity. So momentum is changed. What is changed? Momentum is changed. Kinetic energy may or may not be changed. But we people have got a mental block. Collision means the two bodies actually collide. Yeah, the two bodies can actually collide also. But you know, if in a collision both momentum and kinetic energy, if in a collision both momentum and kinetic energy are conserved, this is called an elastic collision. If in a collision only momentum is conserved, kinetic energy is not conserved, this is called an inelastic collision. What is the meaning of elastic? Elastic means there is no loss of kinetic energy. What is the meaning of inelastic? There is kinetic energy value changed. Means there will be some change in the value of kinetic energy. The kinetic energy can be changed into ooh, ah and ouch. For example, when you are going on your bike, you collide with another one, then kinetic energy is converted into the braking of the headlights, indicators, dents on that petrol tank, and afterwards, ooh, ah, and ouch means there are यहाँ भी लगी, यहाँ भी लगी, यहाँ भी लगी, यहाँ भी लगी. अगर बाइक नया है तो बंदा बाइक को पहले देखता है, ये भी टूट गई, ये भी टूट गई, अगर तुम भी तो टूटा पड़ा. अगर बाइक पुराना है तो बंदा अपने आप को देखता है, यहाँ लगी, यहाँ लगी. That is how inelastic collision in day-to-day life is. If elastic collision takes place in day-to-day life, no loss. Bhanu is coming from his house, having an elastic collision, टक्कर लगी वापस हो गया. No, Bhanu is not at all hurt. Because a bus is coming from Rajpura to Patiala, other is going from Patiala to Rajpura. On the way at Colli, they collide with each other. Rajpura bus will come back, Patiala bus will come back off its own. Okay, why the bus is coming? Okay, I was going in the forward direction, but an elastic is also coming back in the opposite direction because kinetic energy is conserved. All the gas molecules, they have got an elastic collision. Any question? Any doubt? फिर उस गिलास को लेके आपने क्या करना है? पेरेंट्स को बोलना है, देखो पेरेंट्स, ये गिलास है, इसका मास है, अब इसकी वेलोसिटी है 0, काइनेटिक एनर्जी है 0, लेकिन इसकी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इतनी, ठीक है? मान लीजिए अब इसकी काइनेटिक एनर्जी है 5 जूल, टकराया, देखो चूर चूर हुआ, अब इसकी काइनेटिक एनर्जी क्या है? 0. तो पूछेंगे बेटा तुम्हारी अभी हम एनर्जी 0 भी करने वाले हैं, पर तुम आगे बताओ क्या है? ये गिलास टूटा, यस आप टूटने वाले हो, ये गिलास टूटा, इसके जो चूरे हैं वो किस में कन्वर्ट होंगे? ब्रेकिंग एनर्जी में, और उसके टुकड़े को यहां गिरा, कोई वहां गिरा, वो किससे गए? आगे फर्दर. फॉलो, मेरी बात को फॉलो करते हो? जैसे गोली आती है, गोली, बड़ा सा गोला, शेल को आप फेंकते हो, निकाला, फेंका, ग्रेनेड, जैसे वो ग्रेनेड जाता है वो रास्ते में ब्रेक होता है, ब्रेक होकर उसके अंदर छोटे छोटे शेल्स होते हैं, वो होते हैं जिसको बोलते हैं पंजाबी में छर्रे कहते हैं, इन इंग्लिश वी कॉल इट स्प्लिंटर, एंड दे मूव विद मोर फास्टर वेलोसिटी. व्हाई? बिकॉज़ द मास इज डिक्रीज्ड, velocity is increased, because momentum has to be conserved, plus that go with a fiery velocity, you understand or not? You take a bundi wala laddu, taja, and you do a bowling like Shoaib Akhtar. When you do a bowling like Shoaib Akhtar, so as you release it from your hand, as it travels a certain distance in air, the all bundis leave the laddu. Now the laddu is no more, bundi is there, bundi will go with a more and more high velocity because the momentum is conserved. मेरी बात को फॉलो करते हो? This is how the momentum is conserved. But the kinetic energy, if is conserved in kinetic energy, then it is called an elastic. If kinetic energy is not conserved in kinetic energy, it is conserved in other part of energy, like heat energy, like light energy, like sound energy, like some other part of energy, then it is called an inelastic collision. I hope you understand. In one line I have told it. I don't know what the books are writing. You can read that also. But that is called an inelastic collision. Any question? What is plastic collision also? What kind of collision? Plastic collision is that kind of collision in which nothing is conserved. For example, the collision of the wall and the cow dung cake. The collision of the wall and the cow dung cake. You might have seen our Miss Mini, M-E-E-N-E-E. Mini is a Punjabi word. In English we call it buffalo. भैंस को पंजाबी में मिनी कहते हैं और इंग्लिश में बफलो बोलते हैं. तो मिनी cow dung cake pathi we call it in Punjabi. The ladies in the villages just they make a full like a cake and paste it on the wall. Once upon a time one Englishman was so much worried that how the buffalo has gone to such a height. So that cow dung cake is called pathi. The collision of the pathi and the wall is nothing but plastic collision. The collision between the two besan laddu or shakkar laddu is also called a plastic collision. You have seen the reta, gilla reta of a new house. When you were a kid, you make a ball and throw it. That is gilla reta. When having collision, that is called a plastic collision. Well, this is all about the elastic, inelastic and plastic collision. Some students will cry if I teach this article. Do you wish them to cry? You wish them to cry? Okay, fine. What a villainous approach. Elastic collision in two dimensions. Elastic collision in two dimensions. Should be? Well, students, there is a ball. This is lying at rest. Say a billiard ball lying at rest. There is another ball. It's moving with velocity u. As it strikes, it moves in to different directions. It will move with the velocity v1 and it will move with velocity v2. This makes an angle theta 1. This makes an angle theta 2. Obviously, its momentum is m1 v1 cos theta 1. Its momentum is m1 v1 sin theta 1. Its momentum is m. We'll take identical balls. Well, you don't want to take identical balls. Let you take okay, unidentical balls. So this is m1 v1 and this is m2 v2. This is m2 v2 sin theta 2. This is m1 v1 sin theta 1. Well, collision is elastic but in two dimension. Collision is elastic but in two dimension. When collision is elastic but in two dimension, therefore m1 u equal to m1 v1 cos theta 1 plus m2 v2 cos theta 2. Well, this is along which axis? X-axis. Correct? Along y-axis. Along y-axis. What is momentum? 0. But what is final momentum? m1 v1 sin theta 1 minus m2 v2 sin theta 2. Since collision is elastic, energy is also conserved. So as collision is elastic, then half m1 u square equal to half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. This is a concept of elastic collision in two dimension. Any doubt? Noted. Identical. इससे में होगा ये सब कुछ. We are intelligent people. एक बॉल दूसरी बॉल टकराई, दोनों का मास टक्कर लगने के बाद what is the angle of separation? What is the angle? तो masses are same. When masses are same, then collision is elastic. Hey, is it clear or not? When masses are same, collisions are? So half mu square, half mv1 square, half mv2 square. Masses are same, collisions are? Oh, come on, masses are same. collisions are elastic. So half m, half m, half m. Is it clear? Is it okay? U square equal to V1 square plus V2 square. Is it clear? U square equal to V1 square plus. Now tell me one thing. This is nothing but parallelogram law of velocities. Well, can I say it is 2V1 V2 cos 90? Can I say 2V1 V2 cos 90? It means that U is equal to under root of V1 square V2 square 2V1 V2 cos 90. This is the resultant velocity. This is just math. Wait, why? This is the resultant velocity. These are the two velocities which are the component velocities making an angle of 90. So the angle is when the collision is non and balls are identical. How's it? Done it? साथ में हॉर्स भी हो गया. Spring, you compress the spring and you tie it with a string. Then you throw that compressed spring tied with the string in an acid. What happens to that acid when you have thrown that spring compressed form in the acid? When you place the spring in the compressed form in the what you call acid, then what happens? The spring gets dissolved in the acid. As a result of that, the compressed energy, which is nothing but half kx square, that has been converted into the molecular velocities of the acid. As a result of that, the acid molecules starts moving with the more velocity. According to the kinetic theory of gases, when the molecules move, they are associated with temperature. As a result of that, the temperature of the acid will rise. Consequently, we will say when the compressed spring is dissolved in an acid, it makes the acid to be heated up. The concept is very, very simple, that the molecular velocities of the acid are increased. Why? Because the half kx square is converted into the half mv square, and velocity is directly proportional to the temperature. You will be taught in kinetic theory of gases that whenever the molecules are having more velocity, the temperature rises, because CRMS, the root mean square velocity, is directly proportional to absolute temperature. From there we conclude that conservation of energy, like ballistic pendulum, like transformation of energy in a pendulum, like mechanical energy of a freely falling body is conserved. The conclusion is very, very simple. Whenever a body has been set into a displacement, then its potential energy is converted into kinetic energy, and kinetic energy is back converted into potential energy. Here, potential energy of spring is converted into the kinetic energy of the gas molecules. As a result of that, you find that the temperature of the acid molecules, I'm sorry, not gas molecules, temperature of the acid will rise as the molecules possess more velocities, right? So conservative forces are those forces in which the work is dependent upon the initial and the final positions. Non-conservative forces are those forces in which work is dependent upon initial and work is independent of the points, initial and final. Rather, it is dependent upon the path. Work done by friction is considered to be a non-conservative. Work done against gravitational force, electrostatic force, is considered to be a conservative forces, right? Now, after this, we further move into the study materials. Relation between kinetic energy and linear momentum. Relation between kinetic energy and linear momentum. We know that kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Then E is equal to half m square v square upon m. E is equal to p square upon 2m. P is equal to under root of 2me. This is how the kinetic energy and potential energy can be. और उस जगह पर 3 दोस्त बैठे थे रेस्टोरेंट में. पहले का गिलास ऐसे होता है, लाइक दिस, टेबल के ऊपर, राइट. दूसरे का गिलास ऐसे होता है, राइट. और तीसरे का गिलास वो मेरा ऐसे होता है. बोले यार क्या मतलब है? मुझसे किसी ने पूछा क्या मतलब है? मैं कहा पहले आप अपना बताओ. कहता आई नीड मोर टी. कहता आई नीड नो टी. मैंने कहा मैंने कभी जिंदगी के किसी आसान नहीं लिया है, तो दे दो टी ना सही. फॉलो ना, है तो दे दो. इफ यू हैव द टी, अदरवाइज नो प्रॉब्लम. फॉलो ना. कई लोग लिख रहे हैं ज्वाइन माई कोचिंग इफ रिक्वायर्ड. तो पूछो क्यों? यू रिक्वायर? नो आई डोंट रिक्वायर. देन व्हाई यू आर आस्किंग? एडवर्टाइजमेंट नहीं आती. ज्वाइन कोचिंग, लिमिटेड सीट्स, ऑलरेडी 2 batches are full. Already 2. Why you are going for the third one? Tell the students they will fill the third batch. तो concept क्या है? Stupid marketing. So what I am saying, if I place here a ball stable, if I place here unstable, if I place here neutral. Put me a question, what do you mean by this? When it is lying here, its center of gravity is at the least point from the horizontal. You are in the basement, more stable. When center of gravity of the body is extremely having the maximum height, it is called unstable. When here neutral, what is this like? It's like a pendulum. It's like a pendulum, or it's like a plus Q charge, plus Q charge, plus Q naught charge. ये कटोरी मटर, you just push this spherical matter to either side, it will oscillate and come back. You push this pendulum to the either extreme, it will oscillate and come back. You push this scalar charge to either side, repel, then repel, then repel, then come back in the center. This is called an stable equilibrium. What is this? Unstable equilibrium. Slightly displaced, going to this side, slightly displaced, going to this side. That was the situation of you people when you were just having 10th exams over and you go to different houses, take the views, किसके पास जाएं, कैसे पढ़ें, अच्छा वो बहुत अच्छा करवाते हैं, ठीक है, वो बहुत अच्छा करवाते हैं. Parents are just like confused personalities. No, when you go to a place under one roof, 6 hours, fees is a status symbol, 75,000. तो ये क्या है? बंदा कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा. अनस्टेबल. अगर आप देखें ये प्लस क्यू चार्ज, ये माइनस क्यू चार्ज, ये Q0 चार्ज, इधर धक्का मारेंगे तो ये रिपेल हो जाएगा, लेकिन इधर ये स्टिक कर जाएगा, है ना? बोलो बोलो। और ये न्यूट्रल, न्यूट्रल क्या है? जैसे बॉल है, उसको आप किक करते हैं तो न्यूट्रली मूव करेगी, करेक्ट? इसके ऊपर मैं एक कंसेप्ट दूंगा, डायमेंशन। Well, unit is the standard measurement of physical quantity. A physical quantity is that quantity which possess a physical quantity is that quantity which possess a which can be expressed by certain laws. Example, force is defined by certain law. Mass into acceleration, that is physical quantity. You know, in mechanics there are three fundamental quantities which cannot be further subdivided: mass, length and time. However, in physics there are 7 plus 9